Thank you all. 6:17. It's a nice quiet morning. A little warm and muggy though as the sun does come up. You can see a little haze on the horizon, still tracking dust across the Gulf, and I do think we will see our round of dust coming in later on this evening. You can see there it's just sitting out in the central Gulf at this hour, fairly thick out towards Florida yesterday too, and so that'll move in later on. So you may notice some hazier skies later for your Friday evening as the sun goes down. This is not going to last days and days and days, but we'll have a couple little areas of dust pass on through and then see some relief. Another plume coming out through the Caribbean next week. That one's not going to be as widespread though. In the meantime, it is hot, it is humid, and there's a couple showers. Really just normal summer weather here. Get up to about 92, 93 degrees today with a 30% chance of pop-up showers. And remember, these showers will be hit or miss throughout the early afternoon and the late afternoon. Once the sun goes down, the thunderstorms collapse and they dissipate. Here's what the weekend holds. Plenty of heat and humidity. 93 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and a couple showers here and there this weekend. But again, the heat and humidity are the most prominent feature, and it's hotter when you factor in that feel-like temperature. We're talking 104 to 107 will be as hot as it feels. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Take the breaks. If you start to feel lightheaded, shut it down. Make sure you're cooling down very, very quickly. This is going to be our first long stretch through a weekend of hot and humid conditions. Last weekend, remember how great that was? Well, it is long gone. Next week, we do see some relief from the intense heat and intense humidity. It comes in the form of more rain. Now, it's not going to get cool next week, but I think we're going to stay more in the 80s between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's chance for rain. Now, next week's rain, it's a bit tricky of a forecast trying to nail down who could see the most rain and when exactly it moves through, but it looks like our pattern will be more supportive for better chances next week. Big heads up, if you're heading to the Florida beaches today, please be extremely careful, and I'm not exaggerating here. Rip current risk is extremely high today across the beaches from Alabama through Florida. This means I wouldn't personally get in the water. You get stuck in a rip current risk and you could be dealing with a tragedy. Rip currents are the #1 weather-related killer on the Gulf Coast, and so be aware of that. Luckily, nothing to worry about in the tropics. The Gulf, there's hardly even a cloud in the Gulf this morning. Same thing in the Caribbean, same thing in the Atlantic. All this to say there's nothing coming into the Gulf this weekend or early next week. We don't have any hurricane on the horizon anytime soon. So we're just hot and humid this weekend. Next week, we're still humid, but less hot in the 80s. That comes with a better chance for those scattered showers and storms. And as I said earlier, as we get closer to next week, we will have a better idea on timing and placement. So for now, we'll keep about a 50-50 shot of seeing some heavy rain throughout next week. For our boaters, no major problems here. Southwest winds at 5 to 15 knots through the weekend. Southwest winds for the lake at 5 knots means smooth conditions if you're out on the lake here or the Mississippi Sound. Shouldn't have any big problems. Your pressure 30 inches still. High tide is going to be starting at 8 a.m. lasting until 1 p.m. and your low tide will happen later on into the evening.